And
Mo.
No, I was talking to you before we started recording this, but I was talking to Mo earlier. It's funny, man. I'll tell you what I told Mo at the end of the conversation, but I had to call Mo about some scheduling stuff for the end of the month, end of June. And I specifically had mentioned you, like, man, like, I'm excited to record another week in the books tonight. I was telling him about Kelvin, coming on a little bit about that, but also I was telling him about, man, like, me and Lou we in this pocket, man. We in this pocket now. Because me and Mo's, here's how I described it to him. Me and Mo started like more conversation. You know what I mean? Like just the way he approached it. And me and him would get on the phone. I would call Mo early on and we talk about episodes, but then we'd also talk about life. So it was just a natural, just organic kind of build where I was like, man, me and Lou was more like that coworker that you fuck with. But once you leave work, it's like, man, have a good weekend. I'm gonna catch you on Monday. You ain't really doing no checking in. I say, even though we had very similar personalities, you know what I mean? It meshed well, but we just never reached that, what I would call a friendship level. Right. And then over time, once we get on the phone more, start doing this more, I'm like, man, it's like a dope feeling. We talked about this before, just how you know, day ones, day twos, but also I think us as men sometimes reach a point where you kind of limit yourself on who you can meet. And what the cap is, like your circle's your circle. Facts. You know what I mean? And it's cool to see it unfold in real time, just in a natural way, and just kind of, you know, make it work. Because I know we've had discussions where it helps both of us in that sense.
Facts.
So you know, it's joke just to reach that point. And speaking of, now go ahead. What you about to say?
I was just gonna say, because you know, some people, you spoke to it being natural. I think what the cohesiveness is with me and you is neither one of us forced a friendship. Like we didn't feel like because we pod together or do this that we have to be friends and nothing like that. It was just like you said, a gradual build into something that's beautiful. And I'm in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's funny because just the nature of the conversation, man. We got a guest here with us today. My dog Kelvin, man. Kelvin Brown Sr. is with us. We'll get into it. We'll read some comments and things of that nature. But just as we introduce and loop him in, this is someone who I've known since I was 8. Like we met when we were 8 years old.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You gotta. Hopefully, this is a relatable experience. I know it's not specific to Cincinnati, but I'm sure every area had it like this. But like Pee Wee football, youth football is a big deal, and I'm sure it's like that in every city. I'm sure it's like that in Nashville. Am I right, Lou?
Oh,
like absolutely. A big deal. Like just it's ingrained in the culture.
You had to, it was damn near like you had to do it. It wasn't no I ain't playing football. It wasn't no I ain't
it's
playing
a rite of passage. Facts.
And your squad is your squad. Like that's who you ride for. It ran deep. Like we played for an organization called Hilltop Hawks, and that's what it was, man. Like, and we took pride in that. Like we.
So how did y'all decipher like who played where? Like, because in Nashville is based off parts of town. Like how we played. Like the community, like we played for our community center that was in our hood. So I'm from the south side of Nashville. Well, a certain part of the south side. There's other south sides in Nashville, but our hood was Sevier Park. So we played for Sevier Park from like 7 until 12, 7 to 11.
Yeah.
So you play for your neighborhood community center. The east side had a center, the west side had a center. So you're basically playing with people from the neighborhood. So unless the team was really good, people would come from other neighborhoods to play for you.
We was really good, so folks came from other neighborhoods.
That's exactly what it was. So people like after because I was coaching youth football in Cincinnati about 10 years or so ago, and now it's at the point where some of the leagues aren't, but most of the leagues they're kind of funneled through the schools, like the high schools, and it's all one big chain. So a lot of them are district based and they're really strict about that. You have to live in the district, this, that, and the third. But when we were growing up, it was just like, that's your local team. You found out about it one way or another. Like Kelvin said, man, it's a rites of passage. So I remember I was about to play soccer. I was 7. So I joined the year before and I was about to play soccer and my boy Deontay played for Hilltop. And his dad was like, man, you should have him come out for football. And I went to a practice. They had pads on. I didn't play. It was my first day. I was just observing. And I saw it, and I was like, yeah, I'm into this. And then the rest, as they say, was history. And like I said, you kind of stay with the same group. It's almost like the opposite of summer camp. because you link up, like you spend your summer and your school year, but football season, you with your boys. Like you see them twice a week. You go to the practices, you go to the games, and you form this brotherhood. And kind of what I was alluding to, we had a very special group. Not only were we good, we won a lot of games together, but we just had this kind of natural click. So it was easy. And this is pre-social media. So none of us really, maybe a handful here and there, none of us really went to school together until we got a little bit older. So for me, example, I didn't go to elementary with anybody I played with. I didn't go to middle school. It wasn't until high school where a quarterback who ended up coming to our team, Buddha. I went to high school with him. And another dude named Chubbs, our freshman year, he came to my high school. But outside of that, I went to school with a lot of people we played against. You know what I mean? Like Northside KFC, Tri-County, Western AA. Like one of my best friends played for a team called Western AA. But as far as the people I played with, they was just kind of no, right? Thumbs down. We was all kind of over. But you still kept track of each other. Like I said, we didn't have necessarily Facebook or anything to keep track. But I knew Kelvin was at St. X. I knew, I think Gerald went to Purcell. I mean, I knew where cats went. Like Woodha went to Princeton, and then he went to Finneytown. Like all types of things. So it was just always this bond. So I say all that to say, me and Kel always have been social media friends or whatnot, man, and just a lot of, when you talk about just good, genuine brothers that you see, and you just want to kind of see them win, and you appreciate the narrative that they put out. That's something I always admired about him. So the more he shares, and I told you we're gonna talk about some of the things that I've seen over the years, and I'm like, yo, I gotta pick your brain about this. But you share one story in particular that we'll get to as the main topic. But I was like, man, we gotta have you on and have this conversation. So we appreciate you joining us, man. How you feeling?
I feel good, man. Number one, thank you for having me. We initially, chatted. My initial thought was, like, damn, like somebody thinks that, my story is relatable and can, help other people. So that was fire to me. I second what you're saying about Hilltop 100%. And I take that even further. Like, I definitely for sure know for a fact that we didn't know what we had when we had it.
Not at all.
Not at all, bro. Like, I'm talking like from like leaders of our organization to coaches to fathers around the team on down. Like we had like good black men around us all the time. We're gonna touch on some other things like in the future, but I didn't grow with my pops. You know what I'm saying? So being able to come to practice and see your pops bring you to practice every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Be able to see, Jackson pops or be able to see Buddha pops. You know what I'm saying? Like, just instilling foundation in them and like teaching us manhood along the way through the game of football. And I don't think we really knew what we had when we had it. And so like definitely, man, I can echo the same things back at you. We've been cool, been, brothers since 8 years old. And now look at us, in our journeys in our lives, like doing our own things. So I feel good. I like doing opportunities like this to where I can like talk about my life or some of my experiences that I've been through. So yeah, bro, like thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely, man. We got another person we play with, man. His name's EJ, man. EJ Morton Green, who
that's my boy.
He went D1. Yeah, man. Shout out to EJ, man. I was just talking to him briefly because he was diagnosed with MS and he does a lot of speaking and advocacy for it. And he's like a runner now. He had a conversation about that. So it was just, like I said, all of this started from, like Kelvin said, you didn't know you had it good. For us, it was about ball. But also, as I was reflecting on those times today, I was thinking about how much we weren't present with it, but there was a lot of stuff that we learned about ourselves during that time, even like with the good and the bad. So I remember, so I told you, Lou, we were good, like not just regular good, we were good. Like people, so they did the games in order of the age. So 7, 8, 9, different time slots and stuff like that.
11, 12,
so if you had like, if somebody had a kid who was 8, like when we was 11, they would stand until we played. Like we had people staying for our games. It was one of that because there was a lot of talent all over the field. I'm talking about D1 talent. It was just a fun time and the organization as a whole. But I say that to say, I remember when we were 10 years old, because Kelvin came, we were 8-9, we won back-to-back Super Bowls. We were 10 years old, kind of feeling ourselves. The league changed a little bit. A couple teams came and joined us. And there was this team called Northside KFC.
Northside
and we made it to
KFC.
the Super Bowl. We made it to the Super Bowl like normal. It was just business as usual. We was clowning before the game. Like we was
and they
just hand us our
bust our ass.
First play of the game, touchdown. It's one of those, like, it's like seeing Tyson get knocked out. Like, it doesn't happen. Like, it had never happened to us. So, like, when you talk about how to respond, we just didn't know. And we kind of folded. Like, they just ran it. Like, from punch one.
Wait, what was the score?
I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot to a little, bro.
We never got since that time. Like, other than maybe like our first time going to Atlanta for like Thanksgiving, like we had never got beat like that ever. Like before that or since that. Like,
but you know what's crazy? I gotta interject. You know what's crazy, because I feel like in that tri-state area, like Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, even Michigan, I think that we, like Ohio, we take football a little bit more seriously than them other states. But once you start hitting like Tennessee, Atlanta, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, that shit is year round. You know what I'm saying? Like they playing, they got middle school teams that play spring football down here.
Facts.
We don't have spring football.
Facts.
So when we would go to Atlanta and get whacked just because, these niggas playing football all year round. All the time. And also, below the Mason-Dixon line, they had slavery back in the day. So it's like, these body types different. These body types be different. Buddy in 8th grade, 6'1", 205. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if he was in Ohio, he might be 5'7", 145. It's just different, bro. I live in New Orleans now, and I be seeing this every day. It's crazy, man. Like it's just culturally different. But yeah, we got ran, Lou, and we got ran by these running backs. There was twins, right? So there was twin running backs at 10. In D1, they was playing D-line. Okay, so we were just hanging on their arms, and they was dragging us.
And Brandon, you went to school with Brandon, didn't you?
So look,
Brandon was back there in that backfield too.
Shout out to my boy Brandon. I hope you get a chance to watch this, because me and Brandon went to St. X together. So, and we're gonna get into this in the future, but my cousin passed away, Travis, and Travis played with us too. Man. So R.I.P. Travis Thompson. Brandon as a senior, our senior years, we all the same age, was Southwest Ohio Defensive Player of the Year. Guess how many sacks he had in his senior season? Just take a guess.
22.
21.
Okay. That sounds like about a record. Yeah.
Yeah, and he went to Vanderbilt.
Oh, okay. So I'm from Nashville. So what was his name?
Brandon Bryant.
Okay. Okay. What year was this?
That's my boy.
He graduated in 05.
Yeah, 05.
High school 05.
It's funny how you remember those games as a youngster. Like the shit happened yesterday. You forget mundane things all the time, but that time right there, as y'all was talking about it being special, I'll never forget. We was like our 7 and 8 team was like what y'all was talking about. We didn't lose a game for 2. We lost to one team in 2 years. And the team kept beating us in the championship. The Red Shield. They had this play. So I remember the first year they beat us. They beat us 13-6. And then the second year they beat us 7-6. And this is where you had to run the 2-point conversion in for the extra point, because we didn't have field goal kickers.
Yep.
I remember them niggas had a play. The coaches told us, and we didn't believe. They said, man, look, this is what they're gonna do. The quarterback gonna walk up to the center, he gonna hike it through his legs to the running back, and he gonna sweep right. He said, y'all watch out for that. Nigga, they won the game. It was 6-6. They scored on the last play of the game, and they ran that play for the 2-point conversion and got it. Well, we was hurt. And we was hurt because they had just
remember that.
Well, he was hurt.
Well, I'll put it to you like this. Watch this, Lou. Remember we played the Day in Flames, and their quarterback got out the car like he was smoking Black and Miles, and he was like 3 times bigger than everybody.
We was 8 years old, man. He had to be starting high school that fall. Like, no lie, man. And
we talk about that to this day.
And it's funny, man. Going back to what Kelvin said, man, about the men we had around us. Like, you can easily, and I'm sure as grown men, they were amongst themselves like, yo, this is some nonsense. But to us, they didn't let us use that as an excuse. I don't care how old you are.
Oh, no.
Y'all got a job to do. And it was like, you could easily just see your coach bitch and moan and complain. I was going back to what I originally said when we lost that game. When I talk about these moments teaching us, whether we knew it or not, that following year, like when you talk about determination, having a goal, having a vision, like when you talk about just a group of kids just being locked in, when we like circle your calendar, we couldn't wait till we played them again. And I don't know.
Beat them in the regular. Did we beat them in the regular season?
Regular season and the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is that regular season game, I don't know if you remember, they scored the first play of that game too. So back-to-back games, they scored the first play, and then we ended up shutting it down and figuring out, and we shut them out in the Super Bowl. But it was one of those things where whether you know it or not, if you didn't know what determination, having a goal looked like, you learned it then. Like you learned it, and we was all, like I said, we were all locked in. Wasn't nobody playing, wasn't nobody joking. It was like, all right, man, we felt like they took something from us. Like I remember that year of going to the Super Bowl, we won our game to kind of lock in our spot. And them and Western A were playing the second game. And we wanted so bad for KFC to win because we wanted to play them. Like it didn't mean the same if we wouldn't got a chance to play them.
And we stayed and watched the game.
Stayed and watched the game. Like it was at Hamilton.
Yeah.
We all stayed. We wanted that. Like we like, nah, we ain't ducking no smoke. we all down. So it's cool doing that, man, and talking about it. And even one last thing I'll say about it is, you just talk about being connected. And coincidences, man, this is too much of a coincidence to believe in coincidence. I think everything happens for a reason.
Okay.
So Kelvin, I was in Vegas in 2021, right?
Okay.
Mind you, live in Cincinnati. I'm in Las Vegas in November 2021. I'm staying at Palms Place, which is off strip. My first time ever staying off strip. So I'm saying that because I've never done this before. Stayed off strip at Palm Place. Happened to be going downstairs for something. And I get in the elevator and I see Wuda in the elevator. But I remember calling moms and telling her, because I'm thinking like, you got to stop and think about all the things that had to happen at the same exact time.
Yeah.
For that to even happen. Somebody I played youth football with, like I had to be in Vegas. I had to be in Vegas that weekend. I had to be staying at that hotel, and I had to be going to the elevator.
And he had to be out there. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was one of those things where you're like, damn, like this is just crazy. And we chopped it up for a minute and the whole nine. But yeah, it was always a dope connection with us, man. So
I'll say this, bro. I'll say this. Just one thing, like so you mentioned that I went to X, right? And X was a huge culture shock for me. Right.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Yeah, I went to College Hill Elementary. We moved to North College Hill. I went to Becker Elementary. I went to North College Hill for middle, and I tested into St. X. And I got into St. X. And
you want just for people out there for listening, when he says culture shock, all the schools he named before that are black neighborhoods, public areas. St. X is a Catholic high school. Private high school.
You know, and just keeping it real, like back in the 90s, like College Hill was like mixed. You know what I'm saying? We went to school with a little bit of everybody. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I think it should be. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to get around all races and all walks of life while you're young, so you know how to interact with people. But you know, just keeping it real, like it got progressively more black and more hood as I know. But Jeff Cargill, who was on Coach Mike's team, he was at St. X. And Spider, that was on Coach Mike's team, he was at St. X.
Yeah, Spider.
So I shadowed Jeff after I tested into St. X to see if I was going to go there, because it was either X or it was Roger Bacon. All right, because the Ranfords went to Roger Bacon, and my mom was close with the Ranfords, and we was like just another hilltop connection. Like my mom and Miss Angie Ranford been friends since they was like 19 and 20 years old. So like, bro, like I went and I shadowed Jeff, and because Jeff went there, Jeff and Spider, I knew that I could do that. And so like, you know, just bringing it full circle, like, you know, me and Jeff, like Jeff is the godfather to all my kids. You know what I mean? Like we best friends to this day. Like we hung out in high school, we hung out in college. Me and Jeff actually made like a friendship pact on some other shit, and I hope he see this. Cause we was like, yo, like even though our friends might fall off and they might transition through life, we not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Like we not gonna do that. We just gonna keep it simple. You know what I mean? Like You might fuck with some shit that I don't fuck with. I might fuck with some shit that you don't fuck with, but that's not gonna impact our relationship. And he 40, I'm 39, like we still here. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just had my baby shower a month ago. Jeff was
Yeah.
here. You dig what I'm saying? So, and it's all comes from like youth football, like being able to be in the trenches with somebody or be able to like go to high school with somebody, like to build off that connection. So like shout out to my nigga Jeff. Like we just been thugging with each other, like, from 7, 8, 9 years old.
No doubt. No
I
doubt,
want to
man.
make sure
Shout out to Jeff, man. That's dope, man. We ladies and gentlemen, if you out there listening, obviously we got the pre-conversation, but we are back, book 2, chapter 65. Lou, we at 65, man. That's kind of crazy.
65 is crazy.
That's insane, man. As I mentioned, we got the good brother Kelvin Brown Sr. with us today. I know, really, like it's 165 when you talk about it like that. I want to make sure, well, first and foremost, shout out to everybody for liking, subscribing, sharing. Please continue to do so. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is one of those weeks. I know me and Lou talk about it. Last week we were off. It's the third Friday of the month, which we take that off. But I was like, damn, man, I could have went for a conversation. And that's how I knew, like, all right, man, we in a good pocket, man. We've been having some good combos here lately. I do want to read some comments that we did receive.
Shout out to the people that hit me up throughout the week and just say this is what they look forward to through the week. So shout out to all those people. I get several texts, phone calls, and shit. So I'm glad y'all doing this. So I like this. Or got comments about the episode. So shout out to them people.
Yeah, man. That's for sure. That's for sure. This is going back to 64, our last episode, the episode about nothing. As you remember, we really didn't have a topic. We just kind of let the conversation flow. Public Enemy B, shout out to our guy. He wrote in. I was going to ask it as a question of the week, but I think Spike gave sort of an answer this week. If you had to start a Patreon YouTube membership, let me read this more. My bad. What would it consist of? What would that consist of for you, Lou? Like for this platform? I thought about this the other day.
Another week in the books?
I don't think I would ever say, well, another week in the books. I think it's too valuable to the people that listen to it. I think it means the conversations are much more necessary versus entertainment. So I don't know if I'd ever want to paywall that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely understand that. I don't have any idea.
Look like run that bread, bro. What would you talk about?
I understand what you're saying. However, you are right. You are right in the sense of, but there is also still a way to do it too. Like I feel like to answer his question, if we had to, I would just take a page out of the book. It is the mic still on, and just have pre-conversation and maybe post-conversation. Like for is the mic still on, for example, another podcast that I do, we'll start recording and just talking like we did, but that's Patreon. And then we introduce the show, and people that listen get the full, just regular show. But you get like 30 to 50 minutes prior to the show of just us talking the shit and just doing different shit, talking about stuff that we wouldn't normally talk about. So if I had to do anything behind a paywall for this show, it would be that.
Yeah, Public Enemy, I care about you, man. We everything's for free on my end. So Spike Lou's gonna charge us $3.99 a month, and you can go ahead and go from there. But we also
deserve, Rich.
That's a fact. That's a fact. We also
also, bro, buddy ass. Lou didn't say I'm gonna make you pay.
Exactly. Straight up. Shout out to Public Enemy. He want to pay, and I appreciate that. He listened to everything, damn near that we do. So really appreciate it.
And shout out to Public Enemy B for real, because it's not just us. Like it expanded out. Like he listens to Childish Grown-Ups. He listens to Schools Pod. So he listens to everything. I see him in the comment section. So
I see him all the time in sports. He listens on deck. So absolutely, man. Appreciate you.
No doubt, man. Dejour. Shout out to Dejour Falk, man. He wrote in, I'm a sports fan. I'm at a sports game and I'm not cheering. It's the wildest statement. Thank you, Dejour. Kelvin, for context. This man right here said that he doesn't understand people going to sports games and cheering. Like it doesn't make sense to him.
I said I don't do
it. You didn't just say you don't do it. You just say you can't understand it. Like it doesn't make sense. It's weird to you.
So he don't have like a party that he cheer for.
Cowboys.
Cheer for Cowboys. He said he give a fist pump, and that's it.
That's the only team that I root for. I don't have a college team. I don't have an NBA team. I root for the Cowboys. That's it. I used to have other teams.
You don't have it, but I understand that because Vanderbilt sucks, so you don't have no.
I don't got no. I used to root for Miami. but it's just I couldn't follow it. Like I don't have enough time to follow all of them. So like this year, you know, I was kind of pulling for Miami, but I wouldn't call myself a fan. And the reason I wouldn't call myself a fan, like I may still root for them sometimes, but I'm a fan of the Cowboys. I've been a fan of the Cowboys since 1993. You know what I'm saying? So that's
you had some hard years.
I've had some. I was around for the good years too, though. So I do get to say that. You know what I'm saying? I get to say that I was in high school, but I still get to say I was around for the good years. But yeah, to Rich's point, like if I've been to Cowboys game, it's good to be in the environment around other Cowboys fans, but I'm not high-fiving niggas. I'm not slapping five and yes. And I ain't like, you know what I mean? You'll get a come on, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. That's it. I ain't got much more in me.
I'm not even gonna leave that.
So you know, I know you cheer for the Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah.
And I know y'all got one on us this past year.
Who your team?
But should you ever wanna who my team?
LSU.
We Ohio kids.
Oh, y'all Ohio State kids. If y'all got one, the only reason you shouldn't even be mad saying we got one because y'all cheated on us in 01 in that Fiesta Bowl with that pass interference call. Y'all know exactly what I was talking about.
That's how I know you a real Hurricane fan. We can talk about that. Yeah, I'm with that.
Y'all cheated.
But look though, I feel you on that, and even though I feel the way I feel about that, because we still got that on y'all. It wasn't supposed to be close. Furthermore, when we had that fumble, when Maurice Claret took that fumble back from y'all, we wanted it more. All right, and that's what Ohio football is. We just want it more. So whenever you want to come to this side, you know what I'm saying, we got room for you. You know, go Bucks. You dig?
I'm never coming to that side. My homeboy just switched teams from Florida to Ohio State. I told him, man, that's some of the most disgusting shit I've ever seen in my life.
We don't want him. We don't want him.
In his 40s.
That's even more nasty.
He knows who I'm talking to too. He watch and he gonna call me when he see this.
I hope he do it. I hope
nastiest
that's in my life. I feel it. You want to switch from the SEC to the Big Ten, but in Big Ten country, don't switch because y'all had 20 years when y'all ran the game. So don't switch. Don't switch now when we up now. Don't do that. We was in the trenches. Remember when the Big Ten couldn't beat the SEC? Any ball game, we got ran out the stadium. Don't switch now because we beating y'all up in the trenches. Don't switch.
I didn't even think about the conference. That's you right. That is the better conference now too. Shit.
Yeah, don't switch.
It was a fact. All around discussion. It's almost like rooting for two teams. When niggas tell me
they
got two teams, it'd be like, nah, you don't got no team there.
Yeah, whoever your man's is, I want us to see that we like uniform or saying don't switch.
Make sure it's got to be a rule, man. It's a process to switch over.
Yeah,
man.
don't switch.
You're a Bengals fan, Rich. Yeah. Nick is a Bengals fan and a Giants fan, and tries to justify.
I don't understand.
I can't justify it. Like,
I gotta see why.
You get it? He said he was in
an
New York
team and an NFC team.
That's what he tried to say. That's his AFC and NFC team, and he said he was.
So it's one of those.
Heavy. He was rooting
it's
for
like a backup team. Like,
I got you. Have a backup team though. It don't work like that. What Marlo say? That ain't how the game go. That ain't how the game go. What Marlo say?
I understand that, but it makes some sense to me. Like whether I do it or not, or respect it or not, I do. It does make sense. Where you might have this particular day, I have a higher rooting interest in this team. Like I don't care about Atlanta or New England, but I was rooting for Atlanta. You get what I'm saying? It's one of those.
But bro, you gotta live outside your home base because I won't root against the Saints. You know what I'm saying? And I go to Saints games. But if I had to choose between the Saints or the Bengals, I'm picking the Bengals. You know what I'm saying? But the Saints is my NFC team.
Like for me, I don't give two shits about the Titans. I'm from there. I don't give I don't care if they win, lose, draw, get blew out. It don't matter to me.
I wonder
I care less about the Titans.
I wonder if they were there when you grew up.
They weren't.
I wonder if they were related.
They the Oilers. They the Oilers.
They was the Oilers. They was the Houston Oilers. I knew Warren Moon and Haywood Jeffries and them niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about McNair and Eddie George and all that shit.
Hey, go Bucks.
I know about them, but I remember Eddie George at Ohio State with Orlando Pace.
Yeah, man. We got one more comment from Golden Child. Shout out to Golden Child. The last comment, kind of on the same scale. Rich having 700 plus unread text messages dating back to February and not just deleting them. And Lou not cheering for his team at a game. Yeah, y'all both are on the spectrum. Just kidding. You guys are hilarious. Hey man, listen. It is what it is, man. That was a very funny, interesting conversation. A lot of people were hitting me up. Even Phil done started hitting us in the IG group chat with the, sending us those kind of conversations. So yeah, shout out to that, man. What was I about to say?
Thank you,
Golden Yeah, thank you for that for sure. I want to get into it because Kelvin, there's a lot of stuff that I want to. So this episode is going to be, like I said, we have a main topic we'll get to shortly, but also some of it's going to feel like friends catching up because, as we mentioned earlier, man, it's been a while since we were able to chop it up, and there's a lot of things that I've just noticed, and I want to just get your perspective on, and your mindset as I've seen you kind of accomplish things. Because I stepped back and I'm like, man, that's fascinating, especially the time of life when you decided to do them. So one thing I want to start with is I think the number one thing is probably the boxing. Let's go through that because I want to ask you about going back to school because that's something that people say but rarely do when you accomplish that. I want to ask you about how life as a noob has been. Because my cousin crossed a grad, Tyler James.
Okay.
So yeah, man. So I want to ask about that, and also obviously about the ancestry part of it. But the boxing part, how old were you? Because I remember looking on face, I'm like, what the hell is Kelvin doing? Like at first I thought you were just saying something like I'm getting in shape, and then I'm like, nah, this nigga got matches. Like he's actually boxing, he's competing. What led to that? What year? First of all, refresh my brain. Around what year was that? How old were you? And what inspired you to get in the ring and not just as a casual get in shape as a, hey, I want to compete. I actually want to spar. I actually want to do some things in
here. Great question. And I'll just keep it real. So New Year's Eve 2016, Ohio State played Clemson. We got our ass beat. I was in Pensacola with my ex-wife. I went to the local Popeyes in Pensacola, Florida. You never eat Popeyes outside of Louisiana. Don't do it. And I got food poisoning. And I was the heaviest that I had ever been in my life. I was 236. And I went to an urgent care and I was like, never fucking again. Like, I can't do this. Like, and I was just like, my life flashed before my eyes. So I was like, I gotta get in shape. One of my friends of a friend, he MMA trained. And he trained in his backyard. He had a home gym. And I mean, this nigga, his name is Ryan Moret. And I want to make sure that I shout him out. Because Ryan is one of the most determined niggas that I've ever met in my life. And whenever he put his mind on a goal, like, he's very methodical about doing it, but he gonna hit that motherfucker. And so I would see his videos on Instagram at the time, and I was just like, I just want to pull up on him because I know if I pull up on him, I'll get in shape. And so me and my ex at the time, we pulled up on him. We started joint working out. This is when we found out we was pregnant with my daughter. Shout out to my baby girl. Her name is Cara. It's my oldest daughter. And I just kept going. And like I lost 30 pounds from January 2017 to February 2017. I was able to fit into my tux for Zulu Ball from Mardi Gras. You know what I'm saying? And I just kept at it. And as I kept at it, he would like work me out on the mitts. I would hit the heavy bag. And I hadn't been athletic since I played football in college. And when you play football, you gotta be a little crazy because you like contact, and I just like the contact. Furthermore, I really loved the discipline of boxing. Like, it's something about a one-on-one sport. When you playing football, it's 11 on 11. You miss your block, yeah, you might get blew up in the backfield, but if you have a tremendous athlete, he can juke that tackle. When it's one-on-one, if you keep your guard down and you get hit by a left hook, that's on you and you going to sleep. So like it gave me it really just coordinated with life with me and it connected. So One day we was like sparring, and Ryan used to beat my ass. Like, so we would like work out on the mitts, and he like, you want to do some rounds? And we would do like, 2-3 minute rounds. And I would work out with what I would practice on the mitts. And it's different when your skill level is different. So I'm working my 1-2, and this nigga going to my body with the left hook and just sitting me down every single time. And so like once I actually got into a decent amount of shape, I was like, I started fucking with him. You know what I mean? And I was like, I remember this like it was yesterday. I was like, bro, what you think if I took a match? And like our birthdays are like days apart. So I'm a Pisces and he a Pisces. So he kind of knew what type of level, what type of time I was on. He was like, if you commit to it, you'll do it. You could do it. And he was like, if you commit to it and you'll do it, I know you'll win. And so like that's all I needed. So like I just got compulsive over this shit. And like boxing, what people don't tell you about boxing is that when you weigh in for your fight, you have to like lose an incredible amount of weight. Like so like for professional boxers, they might weigh in at 168. These niggas might walk around 6'1", 205, like NFL linebackers, but they losing weight to like give to like equate body sizes for skill. Because my 6'1", 205 might hit different for Buddy that's 6'1", 205. That's from New Orleans, Louisiana, who's a slave descendant. You know what I'm saying? So I started working out, started taking it more serious. I started falling in love with it. I started falling in love with the process of like working out twice a day, eating right, watching boxers box, like the technique of it. And like it just really like connected with me. So um I trained from January to July. And then during that time, my ex-wife found out that she was pregnant with our daughter. So like I'm training a long time that she's pregnant. And it was really like my home away from home, like just peace, you know what I'm saying? And like it really was my peace. I won my first fight. I For U.S. amateur boxing, there's a 10-pound grace period, and you weigh in the same day. So whereas pros weigh in the day before the fight at like say 168, they able to eat, rehydrate. They might get in the ring at 185, 190, 195. Amateurs, they weigh in the same day. So you weigh in at 175 and you got a 10-pound grace period. If I weigh in at 175, I can weigh in at 165 or I can weigh in at 185 as long as I'm within that 10-pound grace. Dude I fought was like every bit of 6'1", 185. You know what I'm saying? So that first fight,
What you saying that?
I weighed in at 174 because they say that, the weight limit was 185. I took that very serious. So I was 236 when I started in January. I was 174 by July. So like I lost like 60 pounds. You know what I mean? And that's what I was doing it for, was initially to lose weight. You know what I mean? But I mean, I'm running 4 or 5 miles. I got 8 abs. I got the V. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel really good
I'm out
about
here.
myself. I'm out here, and it was really about like boxing originally for me was about personal goals and pushing my limits. And I found it really late in life. Had I found boxing at like 15, 16, I would probably be a professional boxer. I just love it like that. I love it the same way I love football. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I won my first fight, and it's nothing like that adrenaline rush. It's nothing like getting in there one on one, having a plan, working your plan, the plan working. It's nothing like that. And I knocked them out. You know what I'm saying? So I knocked out a dude that's bigger than me. So
Hold on,
by that time,
hold on, real quick. I gotta step in that moment for a second. I gotta step in that
okay.
moment. So, first fight, like as far as
hmm
professional, amateur fight, should I say, like actual sanctioned fight? Um, I know you mentioned, sticking with your plan. So it's not like it was foreign to you or it was a surprise. But what is that
hmm
moment like when you actually do accomplish? Like, there's no different from things that we do or me and Lou talk about, where you got a goal, you see the vision way ahead of anybody else, and then you actually see it come to fruition. It's like, damn, okay, like I wasn't crazy. Like this is actually, not to mention you put in the work. Like, what was that moment like when not only you beat him, but you knocked him out?
You prove yourself right. Because you got to remember, like, I didn't start out at 8 years old at Cincinnati Golden Gloves where we seen Olympians. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Cincinnati, for all the jokes that we run up, Cincinnati is a boxing town. Ohio is a
Right.
boxing state. We got
Right.
champions in every weight class. I mean, except for heavyweight. Like Cincinnati is known for boxing. Whether you got Aaron Pryor, Adrian Bronner, Kelly Pavlik, Rasheed Warren, you got Olympians, you got pros, you got world champions. I never went to the gym. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm 30 years old. I'm 31 because I turned 31 during this journey. So I find it late. And, I come with this crazy fucking idea that I want to fucking box. So my wife at the time, she was like, "You fucking crazy." And I was like, "Yes, I'm fucking crazy." So embracing that you got a crazy goal that nobody see but you. Number two,
Did
doing
she say?
everything.
Did she say you
My
were
bad.
crazy because she didn't think you could do it, or she didn't want you to do it, or did she say it was crazy because it's boxing? It's like you finna go out here and fight another man at 30 years old. Like,
Yeah,
what
all
was the
three,
crazy? All of it.
all
Okay,
three,
gotcha.
all the above. Like, what
So
makes
she
you
was
think you can
concerned.
do? Yeah, she was concerned, and I mean,
Gotcha,
shout out
gotcha.
to her. She was concerned, but fuck all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what because this is what I wanted to do. And on the other side of that, I had somebody that was encouraging me that had been doing this for a long period of time. So I knew I had a source of information that wouldn't steer me wrong. Like if I was out there getting my ass beat every single time, like he'd be like, "Bro, like I think you should probably just train and not compete." But like, he would give me fights to watch. You know what I'm saying? Give me boxers to watch. Like I'm left-handed. So he would send me like southpaw boxers at my weight class. So I would start watching people and taking it to heart. So like, just to bring it home, like when I actually accomplished it, it was amazing because what Mike Tyson say is true. Everybody got a motherfucking plan until they get punched in the
Hit in the mouth.
face. Bro,
Mhm.
like, I came out, I'm working my jab, I'm moving around, and he bigger than me. So, like, my punches sting, but I was getting off. But when he hit me, I was like, your bell get rung. And then, like in football, if your bell get rung, the whistle get blown, the play is dead, you go back to the huddle or you go on the sideline, you get yourself back together and you head back in the game. In boxing, ain't no shit like that. You get your bell rung, it's what am I gonna do right now? And
Yeah.
so I was able to find my composure. I was able to stop him. And so like it was euphoric, bro. Like, and furthermore, like, you know, um, I stopped him. I went to the gym the next day. And so it's just like you just want more. Like, you know what I'm saying? You reach like a certain peak or a certain mountain, and like you just want to start that fucking mountain again because you know you can do it and that you did it. And it just became like a framework for life. You know what I'm saying? Like something that you have a goal in toward in terms of doing. It could be impossible to the outside looking in, but become compulsive about it, and you just become working in the plan. Like you make a plan and you work the plan. And for real, Kyron, like that's just been what my life has been. Because after that, bro, like, my marriage went to shit. I got divorced. Well, I got separated for a year. The first thing that I cleaved to in order to bring me some kind of peace and to like help me reset my life was boxing. Like I just stayed in shape. You know what I mean? Like, and just going off topic here for a little bit, like when you see boxers that get out of shape and boxers that have unhealthy life habits, especially from the city that we from, like I can just see that like as a cry for help because boxing brings you so much discipline and so much grounding and so much like positive reinforcement. When you see folks get away from that, it's like I wonder what they're going through in life because like like it's such a positive reinforcement. It has been such a positive reinforcement.
I was gonna ask you, you kind of alluded to it. What do you think you can directly attribute to boxing as a man? Like from the time you started, so at 30 years old to where you are now, what do you look at when you look at the things you accomplished and say, oh, that's a direct like descendant of me starting to box? because did you go back to school before or after you started boxing?
After.
Like, would you say that's one of the things, or just kind of did it change that mindset of, oh, like I could do anything, literally. Like,
anything's possible, KG voice?
Yeah, KG
voice. Yes and no. Like, bro, like, so them rounds is 3 minutes. And like, so when you whether you shadow boxing or whether you hitting a heavy bag and you active on that motherfucker, that's a long fucking time. And like, my mind would go on and still goes on like, what the future play out. Like, my mind just be on other shit. And so, you start formulating your plan. Like, if I can do this, I wonder what else I could do. If I can do this, like, and this is hard, like, 'cause you gotta remember, like, you gotta think, like, when you watching boxing as a fan and you seeing like so and so missed weight and they made weight on the second try, they made weight on the third try, you don't really understand how hard that shit is. My last week, I fought pro and I fought at 168 and I was like 172 that Monday. And my grandma passed and I was in Cincinnati. And I was like, I had a lot of life going on, but I knew I had to make weight for the fight. Bro, I was eating ice chips for dinner for like 3 days. So it's like, if it's like, if you can put your mind on not eating, but just if you can put your mind on like this fucking crazy goal, you can graduate with your bachelor's, my nigga. Like, if you can do something, if you can make a process out of something that's so left field or something that's so crazy, when it get to like everyday things, and not saying that going to school is an everyday thing, because for some people it's not. But if you can relate that to like smaller or different things, bro, that's the game, bro. Like, so I just broke it down and just attributed what I learned in boxing and different other disciplines in life. But I mean, like, I learned that. Like, I gave like my life to that. Like, I did 4 amateur fights, and I was like, bro, I ain't getting no fucking younger. Like, if I'm a box for real, like, if I'm a box, let's box for real. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna go out there, if I'm gonna be in the gym 5, 6 times a week, 2 times a day, I'm about to beat niggas up for money. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just keeping it real. Like, you know what I mean? So, and then even after that, like, staying in shape, because I boxed after that. 'Cause I got 2 kids. So, like, I knew that being a single father, I couldn't just rely on boxing. So, like, I had a day job. Like, I worked 9 to 5. I would get off. I would go to the gym, take care of my kids, and just repeat that over and over and over again. The biggest thing that I pull from boxing is just the process. Like, and again, like, I'm not gonna call out no names because I don't want people to feel disrespected, but like, it's the discipline. It's the waking up at 5:30. It's the running. It's the lifting. It's the, hitting a heavy bag. It's the eating correctly. It's the daily deposits that you make day to day, over and over and over again, that make you who you are as a man and as an athlete, versus just showing up with natural talent. So, like, that's what I really pull from boxing.
Let me ask you this, because I always find this part very fascinating, because I feel like a lot of people get to the point right before the consistency part. So what I mean is, they know what it takes. They know the work that is going to be able to, like, you have to instill. They might even know what that looks like because they've done it for a day. I think where people fall short, regardless of what arena it is, of putting that work in, like you said, falling in love with the process, but putting it in every single day. Like, no excuses. Like, I'm not gonna wake up at 5 a.m. or tell myself I'm wake up at 5 a.m. and then give myself grace to wake up at 6 or wake up at 6:30. Like, nah, 5 a.m. is 5 a.m. So it's like, all right, then I'm gonna try to, it's a battle, I think, with the hustle culture that we live in versus the take care of yourself culture, to where I think people kind of mix those two, where they give themselves a little bit of a grace. Like, you know what, life is hard. At least I made it, even if I ain't make it on time. But that separation of, nah, like, there's still another level you can get to. Like, what
you're trying to go there. You're trying to go there. Okay.
Yeah, why do you think people they know the blueprint and they can get right there, but they can't put it all the way together every single day, or they'll have a day where they just fall off, where in certain skills, certain arenas, you just can't do that. You can't afford to just say, I'm not doing this today and expect to be good or sharpen your skill.
Yo, so like I'm gonna say something that you ain't think that I was gonna say. Like you got to give yourself grace. In the days that you didn't get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but you made it at 6:30, my nigga, you made it. Tomorrow I'm gonna get here at 5 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta take the small wins. Like it's like consistency over motivation. Yes. Like I'm battling it right now. I know I need to be well the way my life is structured right now. I need to be at the gym at 6:30 because I only have 2 hours. So I only have between 6:30 and 8:30 to have this time to where I can commit to this. Now I'm struggling with this. I be beating myself up. I'm hard on myself all the time. But where I'm at in my life, like I have to be able to give myself grace. You have to like as a human being, as a man, as a more specifically a black man, you, the individual, have to give yourself grace because if you don't, nobody else will. And so you'll fall
Facts.
into that hustle culture, you'll burn yourself out, you'll end up being your own worst enemy, and you won't accomplish anything because the second you deviate from the plan that you make, that you set out for yourself, and you don't hit that, you're gonna stop. Well, like journeys in life, they're journeys. You're gonna be at less than 100% optimization, but 75% beat fucking zero every fucking time. So get there when you can, build on what you can, and just increase that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you have a lack of accountability. I'm saying do what you can until you can do what you will. So there are a lot of times, and this is like, I found boxing at 30. I went back to school in 2022. Um, like a lot of times, like I didn't finish in a traditional sense. I did. My life is not a traditional track, but I gave what I could, and what I had to give was everything that I had to give. So, like, if I only had 90 minutes, if I only had 15, if I only had 45, give 100% of what you got. You know what I'm saying? Like sow that seed, invest in yourself. So like that's number one. But the second you start investing, the second you start doing that shit, become a compulsive about it. You know what I'm saying? Like follow up. Like nobody gonna take your word if you don't take your word. So it's like I'm gonna go to the gym at 6. Damn, my nigga, I couldn't get up. I got there at 7:30. All right, cool. Go there at 7:30. All right, cool. I told myself I was gonna study for 2.5 hours. I got 90 minutes today. That's cool. I got 90 minutes today, but tomorrow I'm gonna give, 100 minutes. I'm gonna give 110 minutes. You gotta just give what you have and give that consistently until you build that up. Like it's all about the process and expecting for your process to be 100% when you first start is just not fucking realistic, bro. Like you're not going to be able to go in the gym and train like Floyd Mayweather day one. You're just not going to do that. Floyd on
Facts.
autopilot because of the 30, 40 years that he didn't put in to where he got muscle memory. You got to establish that. And so like, I'm like, that's a big thing in terms of accomplishing goals. Like when you decide to jump out that fucking window, the first step is jumping out the window, like committing to it. Build the wings on the way down. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna fuck up along the way, but that's how you learn the best. You don't learn
Sure.
by the wins, you learn by the losses you take. You know what I'm saying? More specifically, just bring it back to a football sense. What they always tell us as wide receivers, don't go across the middle. All right, we got to go across the middle on slants and in digs. When we plant that outside foot and we turn inside, that head going around first, because I need to see who the fuck is inside of it. Like, I'm not trying to get blown up. But we wouldn't known to do that if we didn't get blown up. So it's just like,
It's real shit.
bro, like that's the biggest thing that I learned about this shit, about boxing, about life, is that it's a process, bro. Like, and you gotta be when you in the trenches by yourself, you gotta learn how to be your best friend instead of being your own worst enemy. Ain't nobody
Yeah.
coming around the corner to save us, bro. Like, so instead of like tearing yourself down and saying, "Oh, you a bitch ass nigga because you didn't," it's gotta be, all right, cool. I know I want to be here. I didn't get there today, but at least I gave something. All right, cool. Tomorrow I know that I can repeat this. If I didn't get up at 6 and I got up at 7:30, I know I can get up at 7. Let me see if I can get up at 7:15. Let me see if I can get up at 7. Let me see if I can get up at 6. And before you know it, you'll have a six pack doing 3 punch combos, bobbing and weaving before you know it.
Where did you pick up that thought process from that you just
Failure.
described? Got
Failure.
it. Okay.
Um, damn, y'all gonna make me get
I,
in my
I was
feelings.
Hey man, that's
That's what this show about.
that's literally what we hear about.
Hey, that's what this show for.
Because I was just about to say, you mentioned. Well, go ahead.
Failure, bro. Like, nobody coming to save you, for better or for worse. I learned that number one, like by setting a goal and not reaching that specific goal. So say that I had a goal of reaching like losing 10 pounds, right? I lost 2. And so like you gotta reframe that. So like instead of being like, man, I didn't lose 10 pounds. I lost 2 pounds. So if I continue this action, I know that I can lose 2 pounds, right? And that was the first thing that I learned in my journey in boxing. Like, and I'm just keeping it real. Like, my first marriage was a lot of bad things that transpired in my first marriage. But one thing that I really appreciated was like us working out together. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a partner. I had somebody that was in it like me, and I wasn't by myself. But you know, when she got pregnant, I started doing it by myself. I didn't have nobody to push me. I just had myself. So instead of relying on somebody else to like see their progress to motivate me, I only had my consistency to go off of. And so like when you have that effort for that consistency of what you build, or for what I was building, I started looking at my progress and what I was doing in terms of like my benchmark. So if I work out 4 days a week, if I follow my diet, I know that this will be my progress. And so like like I took that concept and started applying to everywhere in life. So like, yes, I didn't lose 10 pounds in one day or a month, but I lost 2 pounds every day. Like, I just started breaking down these big goals down into small little chunks, and then I started up leveling the chunks. And so like, I got separated and I was living, with family, and I don't have no family down here. So I was living with, some of her family. I started breaking down my life goals into smaller pieces. And I read a book. It was an audio book at the time. It was Relentless by Tim S. Grover. It was Michael Jordan trainer, Kobe Bryant trainer.
I'm reading Winning by him right now.
Yeah, he is insane. Come in.
Yeah,
He is insane. But it's the way he broke that down about just being relentless about your goals. And I started putting like tangible pieces behind that. Like if I just do this, I know that I can repeat this over and over. And if I repeat this over and over, I can up level my effort and up level my goal. So, you know, over time, I just broke shit down, bro.
So one thing Spike Lou and myself talk about a lot is the need to get better at self-talk, like talking to ourselves in a much kinder way, and being more positive and stuff like that. Is that something that you felt like you had to learn as well along the way? Just like you mentioned.
You went mute.
Yeah, you went mute.
Richard. He went mute. I think what he was saying though. Me and Rich share the same brain sometimes. Okay, there you go.
I'm like, there we go. Yeah, just you were about to say, Spike Lou, just that idea of we quick to call ourselves like, man, you a hoe for that, or you a bitch ass.
How you fucked that up? Yeah,
yeah, man. Get your fat ass up and go to the gym. And you never look at the wins. You always look, or you never reframe it like you said. You just focus on the failures and everything like that. So we've been learning in real time that we will rewire that thought process and be kinder to ourselves. Because it's funny, I can do it to everybody else. I can be the most positive, motivating person to everybody else. But when it comes to myself, man, I treat myself terribly when it comes to that. Like, so what do you remember what it was, or is it just out of necessity where you just had to say, man, yo, I'm tripping. Like it starts mentally.
Yeah, like I can't say that I was the most positive person to myself, and I can't say that I'm the most positive person to myself now. However, myself at 39 versus myself at 30, I have more experience in being more positive to myself. And I've surrounded myself with people, and I've gone to fucking therapy that has helped me be more positive to myself. Yeah, bro, like positive reinforcement helps. And I just keep reiterating that I went from like as a man, like having a goal and the goal being 10 and feeling like I had to go from 0 to 10 in one step in order to break it down, in order for me to rationalize my progress. Also identify my strengths in terms of getting to that goal, and also to be more positive to myself. So yes, I had to be more positive to myself, but I had to put that in rational speak to myself. Like, damn, bitch ass nigga, you can't lose 10 pounds? No, but I can lose 2 pounds in five. I can lose 2 times. I can lose 2 pounds 5 times. You know what I mean? Like just like
Yeah.
reframing progress. Yeah, just reframing progress. Yes, I had to reframe my mind. Yes. And I mean, like, just being real and just being a man, like I was very hard on myself in terms of like losing my family, bro. Like, I mean, we follow each other on social media. You see I post my kids all the time.
Yeah.
Like my kids and my family is like the biggest thing in my life. They're my biggest motivator. They're my
Facts, yeah.
biggest the biggest thing in my life. My family is like where it is for me. And God has blessed me to be able to expand my family. But I had to break progress down, bro. Like I had to like reformulate what success was. And I had to understand that I had to observe what my strengths and weaknesses were. So like all these things, like God gave me the opportunity and the time to be able to observe these things and to also like reinforce those things when there was time. So yeah, most definitely I had to reframe what progress was. I had to reframe what success was. I had to introduce another voice in my thought process that wasn't mine and be in therapy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it had to root out that trauma and like, face the music on some shit, take accountability on some shit, and just move forward in terms of like who I wanted to be, what I wanted to be, and just build incrementally.
That's dope, man. I got therapy questions, but I'm not. We can say that for another time. You're more than welcome to always join us. But I do want to transition into family, because that's the main reason we here. And there's a lot in family when it comes to. I know you've already mentioned you were married before. I know you're expecting right now. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
You and your fiance. I know you're due next month, so
She ain't
shout
my
out to y'all.
fiance. Look, she ain't my fiance.
I was gonna say you decided to do it again.
Yes. Okay. Gotcha.
So you are gonna do it again. You're gonna do it again.
Okay. My bad. I don't know why I thought that in my head.
She gonna watch this episode. So yeah, I plan to do it again.
My bad. I mean,
yeah, man.
Good.
And I thought about that too. Like, man, I could have sworn I seen that. All right. So I jumped the gun a little bit, but either way, congratulations to y'all. Beautiful family. And I know how much that means to you, as you mentioned. If you don't know Kelvin, that's like some people their family men. Like they enjoy leading families. They enjoy being a part of families. So it's always good to see that positivity and see that. But before we get into what's here in your future, you made a post. I don't know if it was a month ago. It might not even been a month ago. And it caught my eye and caught a lot of people's eyes. And this is what really made me reach out to you. And like, man, let's rap about this. Because it came off the heels of us having a conversation here on this platform. Talk about my dad a lot. And we actually had a convo recently, our last 2 episodes ago, where myself, Spike Lou, and our guy Dave, man, who joins us every first Friday. We had a conversation about fathers from 3 different perspectives. Me having lost mine, Lou not really growing up with his, being aware of him, knowing who he was, but not having that impact.
Not growing up with him at all.
Not growing up with his. And then Dave being older and still having his dad around. And just kind of what that is. And his great conversation. Go ahead.
Yeah, and his dad being there every day. Like his dad, as he puts it, David, his dad took them when they was 9 and he never brought them back. So that consisted of his dad putting them to work. They have a restaurant in Nashville where we're from. It's been around for like 54 years. Their granddad started it. And he appreciated that. Yep. he put him to work at 9 years old and has been in his life every day working. It's Monday through Sunday. The restaurant was open every day. So that was his explanation. And I didn't mean to cut you off, Rich, but yeah.
No, you good, you good.
This conversation stems from us having that conversation about our fathers and the spirits that we had, that I was foreign to from what they had growing up with their dads, and some feelings that I had that they were foreign to, in the sense of just how I looked at my mom, in the sense of I was never resentful about not having a dad. That wasn't a thing in my world, because it didn't have to be. And when Rich sent me your post, this was intriguing in the sense of I wanted to know how you felt about what you posted, where you took it, the aftermath, the foremath of it, just the overall situation.
Yeah, and I'll let you just go ahead and lead out the whole story, how Tia kind of brought it to you and everything. There's a specific question I got. You mentioned that your identity is whole, and that's the part I got to ask you about. But definitely tell the story, man.
Before I get into that, I gotta bring it home. So, Kyra, you knew me before I knew my father. And
Yeah.
I knew your father. And your father was very hands-on with all of us.
Yeah,
And your
man.
father took a liking to some kids more than others. And I was one of those kids that your father took a liking to. I was always jealous of people like you, because I didn't grow up with my pops. And your pops was just such a selfless, and like, when I say selfless, I mean like he wanted to push you forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was definitely an OG, but when he was out there for football practice, it was about you. And it wasn't like, you had such a confidence, but not only that, like, you had such a safety because your dad had your back. That's what I was really jealous of, like,
Real quick, man. I appreciate you saying that. You know what? You saying that just reminded me of something that someone told me maybe a couple years ago. My boy Ralph, man, my line brother, he was just like, man, like, you could tell that you had the freedom or safety to kind of be who you needed to be. Like, because he didn't grow up with his pops either. And he just, like, he used that word specifically, and that's the first time I ever kind of put it together. And to kind of circle back to what we started with, my pops was that pops, man. He was the pops that was waiting to make sure everybody had a ride home and things like that. So I know where Kelvin grew up just because from them days, and I still remember it. Like, mind you, I hadn't really hung out or seen each other since probably 12 years old, but I still remember where he grew up in College Hill, the crib, all of that stuff. So all of that kind of played a part, but that means a lot, man. But also I appreciate you being open and vulnerable about what that looks like from your perspective of like, damn, I ain't got that.
That is a great. I don't think we brought that up when we were talking about it. As someone like you, Kelvin, that didn't have a father growing up, that's a key word to describe how you feel. You never feel safe. You never really feel like there's someone that could come do everything. Like, even with an amazing mother that I had, there's still limitations. Even as a child, there's still limitations to things that your mother can do as a woman. Like, that she ain't gonna be able to come do everything. And
nah, bro, you're right.
It's different. Like, I hear people describe like seeing Superman. That's how David described his dad as Superman. And that must be an amazing feeling as a child to be able to see Superman, to look at your dad as Superman. Like, he can come through and do everything. So that's
Bruh,
a really good
do you
point.
know what's like, bro? Like, I'm gonna take it here. Do you know what Superman is? Superman is sacrifice, bro. Like, when people don't have it, but they still give it anyway, in order to make sure that everybody around them is safe. That's sacrifice. And so, like, like, I wasn't around like the day to day between, your relationship with your father, Kyra, but I can definitely kind of infer that your father made a lot of sacrifices in order to like push you forward. You know what I mean?
Tons of them, Rich, that I didn't even know about. Like, you don't even appreciate it until you get older. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's real. And just keeping it where we at, just in terms of like being black men, like, I'm gonna hit around this story, but when I was going to meet my father, and I met my father for the first time. I'm 39. I met my father for the first time. I'm putting my phone, look at the calendar. I met my father for the first time, May the 11th. I wrote my father a letter, and like in that letter, I was just like, I didn't have this when I was growing up. You know, I don't expect perfection from you, but I expect intention and honesty. And
You
And
said
you
my
that in
said
the
father,
letter?
May the 11th, not May
2
the
weeks ago.
11th, right? Yeah,
Yeah, two
May the
weeks ago.
11th. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah,
like 2
2
Gotcha.
weeks ago
weeks
is when
ago.
you met him. Yeah.
Um, hey, my daddy a wild ass DC nigga. Like just OG. But like, what meeting my father gave me, like in terms of like the reason why I felt like my identity is whole, and maybe Lou, you could probably, I know you're gonna feel a piece of this, but like seeing my father walk, talk, deal with other people, deal with stressing times, deal with emotions. The reason why I put like I felt like my identity is whole, so I felt like I was looking in a fucking mirror,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and like when I wrote that nigga, I said I didn't expect perfection. I expected intention. I was like, bro, he about to show up like I'm finna show up. And like, I kind of describe my situation as the best possible scenario in a situation like that because a nigga take an ancestry test and be like, yeah, I don't want nothing to do with you. I'm 60 years old. I'm 65 years old, 70 years old. I'm set in my ways. I got my life over here. Yeah, I might have did X, Y, Z in my adolescence or in my young adult years, but that part is behind me. I don't want nothing to do with that chapter in my life. I'm moving forward. For my father to kind of like sit and take accountability and try to have a relationship again, like my identity is whole because I've never been a person to kind of like discard things or discard people or discard relationships or try to project perfection or like I just felt like like he had provided me with the other side of who I was because I only knew my mother's side of the family, and my mother got married, and I have two brothers on my mom's side who they have their father. So not only do I not have mine, but I'm seeing my brothers have that kind of grounding that I feel like I got to scratch and claw for. So seeing my pops, interacting with my pops, like it just really gave me another level in terms of like who I am, what purpose that I have on this planet to like follow up with, like maybe in terms of the reasons why I dress the way I dress, the reason why I act the way I act. Like it's just observing that man is giving me like grounding, like priceless. Like and finding out that this nigga wasn't a fucking deadbeat, like the nigga just didn't know. You know what I mean? Like it kind of like was healing, like what it is healing. And I just got on the phone with this nigga before I got on the phone with y'all because he like,
Yeah.
yo, where my grandbaby at?
That's
Like
what's
I'm
up.
about to have a baby, and like like hearing my father be like, yo, where's my grandchild at? How y'all doing? What you got going on? You good? Like like trying to inject support in me as a grown man while him being a grown man. Like it hit different, bro. Like
Thanks.
I can't even like I'm doing the best I can in terms of explaining it, but like I could definitely see why I wanted to continue this conversation in terms of, somebody that got their pops that's like working them half to death, but like they got that DNA in them because that's where
Mm-hmm.
they come from. You know what I'm saying? And then, like Lou, I'll definitely empathize with you because my pops, I didn't know this nigga until, a month ago. So
Yeah.
like all of the manhood that you strive or you had to get out the mud. You know
Figure
what
it
I'm
out.
saying?
Figure it the fuck
Figure it
out.
out.
That was, yeah,
And
you had to figure
then
it out.
Kyron, I didn't grow up with your daddy, but I had enough interactions with your pops to know that if we needed something that was reasonable, that was within power, like like y'all, you and your mother and his family unit was his priority. But if he could do anything to help make something easier in the moment, he was gonna do. So like seeing a
100%.
positive, like male role model. And Lou, like, I don't know if you feel like this, but I felt like I had to like take manhood from all these positive examples that I had in my life. Whether it was
Facts.
coaches, whether it was other, people's fathers, whether it was uncles, whether it was family friends.
Yep.
I had to like take that
Cousins.
shit.
Yep.
Yeah,
All that
whatever.
shit.
Like all that shit. Like I had to take that and like hodgepodge it into like healthy manhood. And
And you
a
so
lot of that shit wasn't fucking healthy. You know
no,
what
yeah,
I'm
we
saying?
talked about
Right.
it. Like you're so thirsty for it too as a child, and you don't even realize it. Like you, it's just small things, like you said, that you take from a coach that you remember the whole time. You might even never even acknowledge it to them, but in your head, it's damn. That's how a man is supposed to act or do or think. Like I joke a lot with people and say, like, look, rap music raised me. Like a lot of the manhood that I learned about, I learned that shit from Scarface and 8 Ball and MJG and Master P and the Hot Boys. Like really shit that I shouldn't have been learning. You know what I'm saying? The worst of it, but that was the most influential. Those were the most influential males in my life, outside of, like you said, coaches and things of that nature. But a lot of it was music and a lot of it was friends and us just bouncing ideas off of each other, trying to figure it out, knowing damn well that we wasn't men yet and didn't know how to be men. So yeah, you're right. You just pull it from everywhere, and you know that it's expected of you to be a man. You just got to figure out how to get there, and that's what bothers you the most. To your point, I didn't have a relationship with my dad until I was 18. So like a steady, constant relationship. Of course, I knew who he was. Nashville was a smaller city back then. People knew who he was. They would address me as, "Hey, you such and such, son. Yeah, I knew your daddy," and this, that, and the third. So I would get that a lot. But he and I, like talking on the phone or visiting or going places, that shit maybe happened 3 times until I was 18. And then when you're 18, it's like you go into that conversation. Well, like you, much like you, I initiated the conversation. He was open to it. Like he was thrilled about it, actually. And I won't even say open to it and just knock what, his reaction to it. But he was, even though it was on some fucked up shit that I called him on, in the sense of a situation that I was in and was just too embarrassed to share with my mom, he never has judged me. He know the worst shit about me to this day. And it, like you said, it feels good having that, even though you didn't grow up with it. It's great having that when you're talking to a man who has a similar thought process as you, even if y'all didn't grow up or one together. So yeah, I totally can relate to what you're saying.
Most of the times, go ahead.
My bad, bro. I was gonna say, like, I even empathize with your situation because I grew up with an individual who I thought was my father. And so like me and that individual, um, like until I was 18, I might have saw him 3 or 4 times. And like I grew up with a lot of resentment, like a lot of anger and resentment toward the person that I, thought was my father, who I, was growing up with knowing. And now undoing a lot of that resentment is different, but I definitely empathize with that. We have we had or have an adult relationship to where I can like humanize them and like talk to that individual as a grown man. But as my father, like we didn't have that. But I definitely grew up with resentment. Because again, like in my formative years, seeing individuals like Kyron's father or like Buddha Daddy or Coach Danny, because Coach Danny used to ride the fuck out
Straight
of
up.
Omar. Yeah, but
Hell yeah,
Jackson,
bruh.
yeah,
Yeah,
Jackson
Jackson
Daddy,
Pops. Yeah.
yeah, but like, but the one consistent thing that I can say about those men in our lives was that they were present, and they were present every day, and over their dead bodies is they not gonna be present, like. And in our community, like bro, like that's just a luxury. Like we just don't grow up with that. So Lou, like for sure, like I can see your mind swimming in my own head. Like I'm talking to this nigga at 17, 18. I want to talk to this nigga about comics or about sports, and this nigga talking to me about some other shit. You know, like
Right,
I just
right.
want to be up underneath my daddy right now. This nigga trying to let me be a man, and I don't even know this nigga favorite color. Like, you know, like
Facts.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So yeah,
Damn.
for sure.
That you know, a lot of times when I hear or see about ancestry or DNA tests, it's usually like a talk show or you know something like that. I've never met someone or known someone that actually did it and had an extensive story to share about it. Because I would imagine you didn't necessarily, you weren't looking like, hey, where's my dad or anything like that. Like,
No,
what was the motivation? Because I know like
no.
Tia got it for you as a gift, right? Your
Yeah,
girl.
Tia got it for me for a gift. So shout out to my woman, man. I'm gonna give her props, man. I think as a man, and definitely as a black man, and definitely as a black man with trauma, I think black men need to resolve their trauma before they find their partner, right? Because
Mm,
we have inherent strengths that we can offer our partner, but we can't offer our partner those strengths until we deal with our blind spots, and those blind spots are our traumas. I happened to meet Tia after I dealt with my trauma, and she has been one of the biggest gifts in my life. So, we meet. I'm running into her about my family, and we'll do. And she's like, for Christmas, she's like thinking of thoughtful gifts to give me, and she had taken the ancestry test. So she's like, she gives me the ancestry test. And I had confided in her, some things. And I'm just keep it real, right? So I had confided in her that, I had some thoughts that I don't believe that my father is my father. And by this time, she's already pregnant. So her thought process was, I want you to have peace, so I want to give you this. Also, I'm having a baby with your ass. So I want to see, what you got going on.
yeah.
So, she gave me the test and just being real. When you having a conversation with your girl at 11:30, 12:30 at night, that's one thing. But when the reality of that hit, it's different. And so they ship you the test, where you collect a DNA specimen. That shit sat on my kitchen counter for a month because I just wasn't really ready to face that food. You know what I mean? So I finally took it. I took it over by her house. I sealed it up and I dropped it off. For those who will be watching this, I dropped it off at the main post office on Loyola Avenue by the Superdome. And it took about 7 weeks. So as compulsive as I was with boxing, that's how compulsive I was with these test results. So I'm checking this shit every fucking day. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking for updates. I had found a Reddit subgroup about ancestry. I'm like, looking at when other people getting their
Ready to do
results.
it. Ready to
Boy,
do it.
Whatever you looking for, you can find
whatever
it.
you look, whatever.
Whatever you looking for, you can find it on Reddit, buddy. I
Boy,
promise you
shout
that.
out to Reddit, boy.
Yeah.
Look here, boy. Everybody saying that on this call, I know where y'all be going with it.
We just want to let the people know you can just find whatever you're looking for.
Whatever you need,
Hey,
whatever you're
man.
looking for, let's put it out there. Oh shit.
yeah. So, me and Tia birthday 2 days apart. Mine is March 8th. Hers is March 10th. And I got the Ancestry app on my phone. I got the email, and I signed up for text messages. So when the results dropped, I got 3 notifications, and we were sitting right by each other. So she was like, "Oh, man, you don't want to check it?" I'm like, "Man, fuck no, I don't want to check this shit," because it just hit me that like essentially like all the answers that I had been looking for my whole life was gonna be right here. Whether this
Mhm.
individual that I had grew up with, knowing who's my dad, or thinking it's my dad, is gonna be my dad or not. So I check it, and the first match that I see, because it's ranked by is ranked in descending order according to DNA matches. And so the person who I shared the most DNA with that had taken an ancestry match was my brother. And a brother on my dad's side who I had never met before in my life. And so um we have very distinguishable features on my dad's side. It's the eyebrows, it's the nose, and the eyes. And so this nigga got a black and white picture, like to this side, looking at the camera. So I'm looking at this shit like, I'm speechless. I don't have nothing to say because now I have scientific DNA evidence that lets me know that my dad is not my dad, who I've grown up with. That I have a real biological father. That not only that, I have siblings. So I'm fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I can't even hold you. So like, I search this nigga name on Facebook. I reach out to this nigga ASAP. Mind you, it's my girl birthday. We've been dating less than a year, and she pregnant. You know what I'm saying? And she didn't tell me where she want to go for her birthday dinner. You know what I'm saying? And essentially, I'm like, I don't even want to fucking go. Just keeping it real, like it's like like my world been shot up with an AK-47. I gotta hold it together. So I reach out to him, and when I
Did you
reach
go?
out to, yeah, we went.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and I hope she gonna watch this too. I'm finna talk shit about her because she was like, I wish you wouldn't have opened it on my birthday, nigga. You told me to open the motherfucker or something. But I reached out to my brother. His name is Tyrell. Love my brother to death. And my first conversation, it clicked. Like not only are we brothers, but we have similar life stories because he grew up with somebody that he thought was his father too. And not
Damn.
only, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of blew up his world. Well, not kind of, I did. And
also, he wasn't aware about y'all father either.
Not only that, my nigga, he had taken the test like 2 years prior. So he took the ancestry test. Ancestry had like updated. It didn't say maternal matches and paternal matches. It just said matches. So I take the test and it say paternal match. You know what I'm saying? So I know that he's my dad. I know he's my brother on my dad's side of the family. So, and my dad's side of the family is humongous. So I'm like, it's like 50 matches. You know what I'm saying? So 50 DNA matches. So I find a mutual family member. She's older. She's like in her late 70s, early 80s. I reach out to her, just basically let her know what had happened. And shout out to like my great aunt. Her name is Lillian Johnson. She sent me like a family tree. Like in Kyron's, like she was like an adjunct professor at Wright State. So her responses are very like academic, very like spelled out, and me and Tia start searching, and we hit brick walls. You know what I'm saying? My brother Tyrell, he more confrontational than I. He like, yo, I'm finna ask everybody. Fuck that. We finna find my motherfucking daddy. Like, I ain't going like.
Can I ask you two questions?
Yeah, sure.
I got two questions about two different conversations that you would have had based off. One, and if it's too personal, we move on past it.
That's cool.
What did the conversation go like with the guy who you thought was your father? Was there a conversation had?
He was my second call, and I definitely want to be respectful to his feelings.
Gotcha.
But I will expound. So my first call was to my mother.
Mm-hmm.
My second call was to the individual that I grew up with thinking was my father. Because I just wanted answers, bro. Like, and also like I'm 39 years old. I have 2 kids of my own, about to be 3. You would deserve to have this information. You deserve to know. Dang. And so that was one of.
I forgot about the mom conversation. That's the one I was interested in too. Yeah,
that's all right.
I could imagine that. Yeah.
Shout out to him, bro, because he could have told me to fuck off, and he could have like went and tucked his tail. But like he had the conversation, he gave me as many answers that he could give me. But being that he was not my father, it ain't really shit that he could provide me
Yeah,
because
no. Right,
you're
right,
not
right.
my dad. Then who is? You know what I'm saying? He can only give me the context in terms of situational information in terms of that time period and and trying to comfort me. But in that conversation, bro, like I could kind of feel like him checking out because my
Mm.
mom had me at 17. He was 21 at the time, so we had that to discuss. But he, like he in his, again, I'm almost 40. He in his 60s now, so he's been carrying this for 40 years, and to
Mm.
find out that I'm not his son,
Mm.
so he's not a deadbeat dad. There's not things that he could have did differently. He was actually being a stand-up individual this whole time. Like that was a lot, and it still is a lot. And if you watch this episode, my nigga, I definitely empathize with you because you've been being a stand-up individual this whole time. Like you deserve some type of like I don't want to call it retribution, but you deserve some type of retribution, my nigga, because that would happen to us. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? If we turn 60, you find the kid ain't ours, like, yo, I got questions. Um,
yeah, shit.
yeah, so like that was hard. And as hard as that conversation is, the first conversation with my mother was the hardest. Because I have all these questions and she gave me no answers. In
Mm.
fact, she was very avoidant and she was very dismissive. And, the first thing she said was, how do I know that this is true? My nigga, I got DNA evidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, this ain't
you
like,
did the test. Yeah,
Mm.
I not only, so like, that's part one. So I did the test. And, my mother's not perfect, but that's my mother. And, my mother is a very resilient, she's a very strong, she's a very smart, she's a very loving, she's a very forward person. And that's a very complex relationship that I have with my mother. But like she didn't run from the conversation. Um, and
Was she
like
surprised?
yeah, she was surprised.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I didn't think so at first. Keeping it real with you, 'cause I'm like,
Yeah.
my nigga, like this type of shit niggas take to the grave, and you taking this shit to the grave. Furthermore, like in terms of generational curses, this had happened to my mother as well. So my mother, at the age 34, found out the person that she grew up with, thinking that was her father, was her father. So, you know, it was just very heavy for me. And so, like, now that I had my world turned upside down, I wanted to find out who my father was. And I live in New Orleans. And so, like, I had stopped drinking for Lent. Like, I had stopped drinking. I had went crazy for Mardi Gras. And I was like, I don't want to drink going forward. I got them results. The first thing I started to do was drink. And I just didn't really care for that. But I just didn't have anything that, like, I didn't have it. It felt crazy, bro. Like, I ain't even hold it. Come on. What's up? So, that's my son. So, um, the next step was like getting answers. And so, like, again, I had made a Reddit post on the Ancestry thread and I had spelled out everything. And one of the comments was like, yo, you should check out this thing called DN Angels. It's a nonprofit genealogy resource. They might be able to help you. It's through Facebook. So I reached out. They took my case. It took like 3 weeks to get a genealogist on my case. And I'll never forget this. The lady took my case on a Wednesday. And Teal is pregnant. And so how we used to like do things was my custody schedule when I had my kids, she come to my house. When I didn't have my kids on the weekends, I would go to her house and I'll bring my computer with me. And one Saturday night, I was up on my computer and the lady was like updating my family tree and she dropped my grandfather. on my dad's side in the family tree, and she dropped a picture of that nigga. The first thing I seen of that nigga, he had a suit on, he had a bow tie on, and I'm a Kappa. He had a fucking black suit on, bow tie, Pepsi in his hand, big thick ass eyebrows, nose, and eyes. And I just stared at the screen for 45 minutes. So I was
Shit.
like, I've never seen anybody on my mom's side of the family that looked like me. You know what I'm saying? So I saw my grandfather, and then I woke Tia up because Tia like the fucking FBI on fucking Facebook, and she
What woman
and
ain't?
Yeah, about to say, yeah,
boy,
they born with
boy,
that skill.
boy, the techniques these women be using on Facebook to get information, boy. We need to know because we need to employ these same tactics.
Straight up. Straight up.
Right.
Now that's a real shit. I don't live that.
Facts. But
Yeah, that's
man, like she had my family tree spelled out, so it could have only been a certain number of individuals that was my father, right? So like my father had a number of kids. She had put them individuals in the family tree. And so I just searched them niggas' names on Facebook. And when I found my father, Kyron, you're gonna get weak. The first picture I seen was this nigga in a backwards fitted hat. And I was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like it just
Yeah.
was, I was just like, this is my dad. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Real charismatic individual. You know, we kind of our facial features are the same. Fashion wise, we the same. You know, I was just like, and I remember telling T, I was like, this is my dad. And she's like, no, we need to be more sure. And I was like, fuck what you talking about. This nigga
You
my dad.
knew.
You know what I'm
You knew.
saying?
Yeah.
And so I told my brother. So, you
Okay.
know, like in real time, I'm like shooting my brother these updates. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my brother, like, I shoot him a screenshot of my family tree or our family tree on our dad's side. And he see one of our mutual family members. He like, nigga, I used to work with her. I got her number. So he
damn.
called her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he called her and like, you know, bring her up to speed. And and come to find out, my brother lives in the same neighborhood as our father.
Oh shit.
So
Didn't even know it.
he didn't even know it. So my brother confrontational. Like my brother like, yo, I got this info. What's up? And so my approach is a little bit more methodical. Like, yo, I have DNA evidence. I have to report. I took the ancestry test. This is what's going on. My brother not like that. My brother like, this is what it is. What's up? And so, you know,
Where are they located?
Washington, D.C.
They're all
So,
located in DC. Gotcha.
yeah, so more specifically, Prince George County. So, like Maryland, Glen Arden, Maryland. Um, so, yeah, bro. So, my brother, like, yo, let this nigga know, like, this is our dad. We pulling up. Woo. And so I told y'all that my dad is an OG. My dad is a DC, a wild DC ass nigga. So my aunt conveyed the information to my dad, and I'll never forget this. So I work remote, so like I'm in my home office, right? Like it's my bedroom, but I got a big ass bedroom. I got a desk over here. My aunt Tiny, we got a group chat between me, my brother, and her. So she texts us like, "Hey, y'all, happy Monday. You know, your father said he don't remember your mama." You
Damn.
know, he don't remember this, and, you know, and he's not willing to reach out or like talk to y'all. Sorry.
Damn.
And it was with my one-on-one with my boss was like in 3 minutes. And I was like looking at that message, and then I had to jump on the meeting, and I ain't had nothing to give to my boss. And I just fucking told him, like, yo, this is what I got going on. And he was like, you want to take the rest of the day off? I was like, yeah, I think I'll take you up on that. And so, you know, I kind of sat in the room and I just kind of looked at the screen and I was like, all right, bro, you had your methods, it's time for mine. And so DNA Angels, they have like a report they give you. And so it's like a PDF. It's like 8 pages, like essentially like summarizing their research. And in addition to that, they have a premium membership with True People Search. So they can get like telephone numbers and addresses. And so the genealogist reached out to me and she gave me my grandmother's number, so my dad's mom's number. And she was like, we provide these numbers. What you choose to do with this information is on you. It's why we provide the report. We can't guarantee, nothing, but should you want to make contact, this is how you do it. So I did what any real nigga would have did. I put that message in iMessage and see if the numbers turned up blue or green. It turned up blue.
Turned up blue.
It turned up blue. I attached that PDF for the research, and I was just like, I know this is a lot, but I've been researching this. This is the hard data. This individual is my father. This is my brother. These are the individuals that are on the family tree. That nigga called me in 10 minutes. Hey, you looking for me? Yes. He was like, so what you got? So I kind of ran through like my conclusions. And he was like, when I got through with explaining myself, he was like, well, damn. Well, what's the next steps? And the next steps was, him taking a DNA test in order to confirm that he was our father, right? So,
yeah.
Did he remember your mom as y'all were talking?
No.
Still didn't remember. Damn.
No.
Did he remember spending time in? Was it Cincinnati?
Yes, it would have been.
No, so I was born in the Army hospital in El Paso, Texas. My father was in the Army.
Okay, got you.
And so my mother lived in El Paso too during that period of time. And so like when I explained to him like where I was born, my situation, that's when he kind of warmed up to it because I have a sister that was born in El Paso too at the same Army hospital. So that nigga was kind of like, damn, got me. You know what I'm saying?
He was like, I remember El Paso though.
I
remember El Paso.
Well, look, he was like, furthermore, he was like, well, I was the man in El Paso. I mean, clear. You know what I'm saying? So,
shit.
From there, and by this time, my partner, she's 7-8 months pregnant. We have our baby shower, and just like with boxing, I'm like became real compulsive. So I just booked a one-way ticket to DC on a day in which I was kid free. I didn't even book.
Why one way? Why one way? Why not a
because your president started attacking Iran and driving ticket prices up, and that's what I could afford in that moment in time. So,
fair enough.
So I just wanted to lock it in. You know what I'm saying? So I locked it in. I was like, I'll find the return leg. And I just wanted to get up there. And the coolest thing that my dad did was he booked a meeting room in the Hampton Inn and Suites, and he had the entire side of our family meet us there. So
this is you and your brother.
Me, my brother, my sister, uncles, oldest living relatives of our family, cousins, bro, it was fucking amazing. My
How did
dad
they receive you? How'd they receive you? Like all those people?
Warm. When I say warm, my grandfather's brother brought an 8x11 picture of my grandfather at a wedding to the yeah, I got these glasses off of Amazon, these Ronnie Yees. I've been wearing them in every Instagram picture. That's all my grandfather used to wear was glasses.
That's crazy.
So when I seen it, I'm like, and they brought it on purpose because they wanted me to see how much I favor my grandfather.
Yeah.
And when I landed in DC, my brother came to pick me up And the first thing, like me and my brother, like I'm 39, he 38. We just hugged for like 20 seconds. We crying like bitch ass niggas because we have identical journeys and we meet each other in our late 30s.
Yeah.
So we crying, we trying to hold it together. Um, we go to breakfast with my sister. My sister pull up. She passed me a pre-roll. Like, nigga, I know you're gonna be needing this. Like I ain't met my sister. I've always wanted to have a baby sister. We all share DNA, so we kind of act alike in a little bit of a sense. Um, my dad and my auntie pull up. So my blood auntie pull up, a different auntie than the one that I was in a group message with. And you know, I just see my pa swagger. I see his vulnerabilities. I see his presence. We eat breakfast. My daddy loved Grand Marnier. So it's like 10:30 in the morning in DC. We drinking Grand Marnier, just shooting the shit. Um, my pops paid for a hotel. I'm in a hotel. He didn't got the whole family to come through, like boy cousins, girl cousins, aunties, second, third cousins. I am a Kappa. One of my cousins just crossed, and my dean, he went to school he went to high school with my dean. So like
Damn.
it's just like, like just weird shit like that.
Once again, man, everything kind of aligns how it's supposed to.
Yeah, man. Best case scenario. And me, what I'm the oldest of five on my dad's side. I have a brother that's 4 years old. I have a sister that was born in the same year that I was born. But like my brother and my sister there that live in DC, like we real tight knit. And we just like the three of us, we done been to therapy, you know, we kind of like understand the weight and the depth of what this is. And we just keep touching base. And like, my baby sister, like, I've always wanted a baby sister. Like, you know, she's everything that I could imagine in a baby sister. Like my brother, like I'm emotional. My brother more emotional than me. But my brother is the type that he'll have your back through whatever. He the one that's like looking to make sure you straight. I'm the aggressive one. He the one's gonna make sure you good. My pa is the wild and crazy. You know what I'm saying? We gotta both we gotta make sure he good. Like um
What was that first embrace like? Like with your pops?
I can't even explain it, bro. Like
Yeah.
my pops walked in, he had a Yankee fitted on, he had a sweatsuit on, and he had some sneakers I ain't never seen before. So when he walked in, I initially knew that this nigga was my daddy, right? And I just
Yeah.
stood up and he beeline straight for me and we just hugged for 30 seconds crying like bitch ass niggas.
I seen
And
the video. I think somebody posted the video of y'all crying, man. Like
yeah,
it was
bro, because
actually
I was
pretty
like,
dope.
bro, I'm good. Like, don't you start crying. Now I'm gonna start crying. You know what I'm saying? But
Did he have other kids there?
yeah, like it was my brother and my sister there. So like I have a
I mean, the
4-year-old
kids.
brother.
Did he have kids that like he raised or that grew up with him?
Yeah, so my sister. So
Okay, got you.
and my sister was like, man, I ain't fucking with this nigga right now. Y'all got me at this fucking breakfast spot. I ain't fucking with this nigga. So she get there and she there because she was trying to be there before he got there, and she didn't know that he was there. She just wanted to meet us. And it just been real healing, bro. Like, cause like, she there, and now this has been like a kickstart to like a new chapter between my sister and our father relationship. Um, you know, I was originally supposed to stay for one day, Kyra, but I met one of my cousins who reminded me a lot like Travis. Like
Yeah.
rough around the edges, but heart of gold, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like heart of pure gold. And we just naturally took to each other. Like my daddy is a wild nigga, so I told him I like grandma. Yeah, like him. This nigga go to the liquor store and get a case of liquor instead of a bottle of liquor. You know, we just stayed at my daddy's house till like 2 in the morning, just like
Yeah.
popping shit, getting to know each other. And so my cousin Derek, shout out to my cousin Derek, he was supposed to take me to the airport, and I left my keys in his car on accident, so I missed my flight. So my pa came and picked me up from the airport. He left work to come pick me up from the airport, so I had a whole day to just spend with my pa. And it went about like the Lifetime movie shit that y'all thought it was going to be. That y'all think it was.
Yeah.
Like we went to a mall. This nigga walking around like he 40 years old when he's 60 years old. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking behind this nigga trying to make sure he good. He popping shit like an old nigga in the mall, like he do. And I'm just like watching this nigga kind of like in awe, like, cause he kind of getting on my nerves, cause he like loud, and I'm not a loud person for real.
Yeah, nah, straight up.
Yeah, but you know, that's my father. I just kind of like had a jaw drop. Like, you know, it was everything that I thought it was supposed to be. So like, you know, I had checked out the hotel that he had put me in. He put me back in the same hotel, and then I had left something in the car, and he come to the hotel room. This nigga smiled from like ear to ear, and I was just like, yo, he really happy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, for all like the connotation or the reputation that he had or whatever, or has or whatever, to find out that he got two sons that are like his personality in different ways, like seeing the pride that I instilled in him, bro. Like, it was just like I don't have 40 years of memories with that nigga. I got those memories, and those are burned into my brain. So,
Yeah.
you know, like, you know, my sister been with him since jump. You know, so my sister got she got more of a checkered, you know, history with our father. But like, even being there for my sister, like me and my brother, we all got specific purposes. My sister, she got a specific purpose. You know, my sister that live in Atlanta, she got a purpose. My baby brother, he got a purpose. Like, you know, like it's just been so rewarding, bro. Like, and I know the relationship is new, but bro, like it's amazing, bro. Like I was just talking to my pops before I jumped on the phone. We jumped on here. He like, how my
Yeah.
girl doing? Talking about it. We got a baby yet? Where my grandbaby at? You know, like, and, you know, 2 months before this, I never knew if that was the case, because I was having issues with the individual that I thought was my father, bro, because
Yeah.
I felt as if he should have been more present in my life. And you know, come to find out, like, you know, my dad, so really he just a good ass mentor. So I look at him from a mentor lens, he's gone above and beyond the Call of Duty, you know? And to find out that my father is my father, and we have these DNA matches, we have the same mannerisms, fashion. Like my pops is in civilian cybersecurity for the government. I'm in tech right now. My brother do cybersecurity for a law firm. So my
That's
brother
crazy.
and my pops, we
Yeah.
all do the same fucking thing, Loki.
Didn't even know each other a month and a half ago.
Yeah, you know, like it's
That's
just
wild, bro. That's wild.
it's so wild, and that's why I'm really grateful for you like reaching out to be able to tell this story, because it's the best possible scenario or circumstance, bro. Like my father, my dad also beat prostate cancer. So he had prostate cancer 2 years ago. So my cousin, he a DC like wild hood nigga, right? So you know, got DC accent, and everybody shoot shit straight. So I'm shooting shit straight. My pop shooting shit straight. My cousin shooting shit straight. My cousin go, yo, well, you gonna get two things from us: whoring and prostate cancer. When you get back to
Damn.
New Orleans, make your appointment, my nigga.
Hey, but that's real though. They kept it a buck to say, go ahead and get checked out, because
Go get your
that's
shit checked, you
yeah.
know? And I appreciated him for that. You know what I'm saying? That made me clean to my cousin more, because I'm like, don't tell me just the good things about my family. Tell me the real. You know what I'm saying? Because the kind of person that I am, I'm gonna show up regardless if things is good or bad. I'm just gonna show up because, bro, like just bringing it back full circle, that's what I seen. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it was your pops, whether it was Jackson pops, whether it was Coach Danny cussing,
Omar, yeah,
yeah,
because
cussing
Omar,
Omar out. Yeah, like they were still around each other. You know what I'm saying? Like they were still like covering each other. That's what we grew up with. So like,
yeah,
don't just tell me the good shit, bro. Like, cause it don't matter if it's good or bad. Like my loyalty was never gonna waver. And like I'm super grateful for being able to find my pops. I'm super grateful to be able to find that nigga and he alive. I'm super
nah,
grateful to
that's real.
find that nigga and he in decent health. Super grateful to be able to find him and he want to have a relationship with me. I'm super grateful. Like, bro, like I talked to my sister on Monday. It's Wednesday. I talked to my sister for 3 hours. Like, I always wanted to have a baby sister. And my baby sister is just as a baby sister is spoiled, rotten,
Yeah,
hard worker. Like,
How old is
what
she?
I'm saying? She 37. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And she wanted to have a relationship too. You know what I'm saying? Also, my cousin talking about you get horn, like from my family from the DMV. I got light skinned women in my family. I got brown skinned women in my family. I'm not telling none of you niggas about my sister or my cousins. But I'm just but what I'm saying, what I'm saying is, bro, like, it's bringing this thing full circle, like, and the ways in which it's giving me so much grounding is that piece of me that wonders what is, it's not there no more. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Regardless if it's, perfect or it's good or it's not so good, I have inventory in what that is. And now, like, it's up to me to, like, push that forward. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a blessing to be able to pick up my phone and call my dad, or my dad text me, or my dad shoot me a picture, or I shoot my pops a picture, or like, or I'm about to have a baby in a couple days. For my father to be able to have a grandchild, from jump, that's not gonna know our colorful history, or know my daughter is not gonna know any kind of family lack.
yeah.
Did you
None of
share
it.
this experience with your mother?
I have not. And that's
Oh,
another side of this, bro. Like my mom, I don't know if y'all like familiar with like conflict styles and conflict resolution, but my mom is an avoidant. So my mom does not want to talk about this at all. And that's been the hardest thing
she
about
probably
this.
embarrassed a little bit, right?
Yeah, I'm
I
sure she
mean, I,
carrying a
I
different
can
side of
imagine.
it
Yeah,
on
she
her
probably,
side.
yeah. I would imagine she probably kind of embarrassed. Not that there's anything to be embarrassed about, but I could understand her wanting to avoid it. That's why I
Yeah,
asked.
I think everybody in the story, I believe, is shocked because I know Kelvin's mom. Kelvin's mom was team mom. Like she in one of our team photos. Like you know what I'm saying. So when we talk about everything being tight knit, that's how it was. So yeah, I can only imagine finding that out as well and being like, damn, because that's a whole new thing. So yeah, that's
And bro, she know who you are, so and she active on social media, so I can imagine that she might watch this on her time. And I haven't had the opportunity to say like how I really feel like post me and my father. Um, but like I've had a close conversation with her to where I know a lot about my mom in that period of time in her life, and also like bro, like I've had the opportunity to live like my version of that, like what I'm saying, my 20s, what I'm saying, my late teens, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I got a lot of grace for my mother. Also like my
As
mother was
as
taught,
a woman probably versus a
yeah,
mom,
bro.
that's a big
Yeah, married
difference.
to an adult, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, and so my mom taught me a lot about my mom parented me out of survival, bro. Like she was 17 when she had me. Like when I was 3, 4 years old, we moved to Cincinnati when I was 2. My grandmother, her mother, was living with us when I was 4 years old. So my mom's mom was living with her at 21. We lived in Compton Groves in Mount Healthy. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, those things come to mind. Like that's why I'm such a hard worker. My mom was hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my mom taught me everything about survival. So like when I think back to this time in her life into which, you know, she made some mistakes. Like it's definitely hard for me to fathom because I grew up with one version of my identity and now I have another. But like, you know, like I'm straight. Like I'm a month away from graduating with my master's.
Yeah.
Everybody up
Congrats.
underneath this motherfucking roof depend on me. And that wasn't always the case. So I've had the opportunity to live and grow and learn. And, you know, I had a great example in my mother. You know what I'm saying? Like my father is just as a great example too, because, you know, he was in the military. You know, he is well deep into his career. So I come from good stock. I just had a colorful journey in terms of getting here. And, you know, like the biggest thing that I want from my mother in this whole thing is just truth. You know what I mean? Like I got the grace, I have the empathy. Like I'm her firstborn son. I have the love, bro. Like I just want the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like let's hug it out and let's move on. Because each and every single one of us on this call, like we have a colorful family life. You know what I'm saying? Like whether, you know, we grew up with, you know, things in one way and it's changed, or whether we grew up with it, you know, getting out the mud and we kind of made peace with it. Like bro, the black family is a motherfucker, and we can understand it. It ain't our fault. Like, you know what I'm saying? The niggas are slaves. You know, niggas had to get it at how they like live. Like our previous generations aren't perfect, but we still family. And so, like, you know, mom, if you watching this, bro, like I love you, but you know, get your shit together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I love you and I'm here for you and I'm always gonna be here. Um, yeah, bro.
You ain't
Tears
gonna be able to
turning to
tell your
cheers.
you ain't gonna be able to tell your girl nothing. She provided this experience for you. You ain't gonna be able to tell her nothing. She waiting on that ring, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, like she deserved it. I'm gonna give it to her. You
Thanks.
know,
Shout out to her,
No.
man.
Shout
yeah.
out to
Shout
her
out
for
to
real.
you.
Kelvin, man, we could probably talk for another 2 hours. I ain't gonna hold you because there's so much I wanted to talk to you about that we didn't get to, but luckily and thankfully, man, we connected.
Yeah,
You know, I'll be checking in with you, of course, just chopping it up with you. But you know, thank you for coming on and thank you for sharing this story. I want to know. We definitely want to reserve room. I know you expecting here soon. So
hmm
once things get a little bit settled and acclimated to the new life and the new member of the family, we'd love to have you back just to kind of talk about the further things because I would love to know how this has impacted your mindset as a father. You've already been a father, but what that looks like as far as like kind of finalizing your identity, like I said, a lot of other things that it kind of carries on to, and just the next steps as far as continuing to build that relationship with your dad and your siblings and everything. These people that are just new, you know what I mean, and kind of implementing and weaving that into your life. So there's a lot more that we want to talk to you about, and can't wait to do it once you have some time, man. But I'm excited for
Thanks.
everything you do have going on. Congratulations early on the Masters. Congratulations on the newborn that you'll be welcoming into the world. Of course, I'll be tuned in, man. And when I tell you, it was a pleasure, man, just to sit here and chop it up with you, man. And yeah, that's
Great
all,
story.
man. Thank you.
Great story,
Thank
my
you.
brother. Great experience, great story, great job. Absolutely. We glad you came through.
For
yo.
sure,
First of
man.
all, this is the first time I've addressed your cup, Lou. I see you got that red wine. I support that,
No doubt.
brother.
No doubt.
Salute.
Nah, man. Salute. Kyron, man, thank you for having me. We go back 30 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. Shit
Um,
nuts.
yeah. I appreciate our relationship. I appreciate the opportunity for being here. I hope the viewers that watch this find some type of insight from my story. I'm just grateful, man. Thank you for having me. Please like follow up in terms of understanding how my baby is
Oh, yeah, it's
affecting my
gonna be a
life.
part
Oh
two of
yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Everything
we'll
Yeah,
do a part two. And like I said, I'll be reaching out to you individually, man. So
yeah,
and it's
hit
funny
me
'cause we
up.
know similar people because Lou, he knows remember we had Lawrence on like one of our early chapters. We
Damn,
did the
yeah.
finances and stuff like that. So there's a lot
Mhm.
of people, like I said, just running in the same Cincinnati, one of them cities, sort of like what Nashville
Yeah,
was, man.
bro.
it's only like they say 6 degrees of separation. It's really 3.
It's like 3.
Yeah, it's really 3 degrees of separation. Yeah,
Nashville, I make 3 phone calls. I know somebody that know you. Like,
yeah, man. And shout out to Lawrence, man. Again, like the Ranfords are like family friends. So Lawrence is married to Ashley Ranford, which is for Kelvin and Aaron's sister. And Kelvin and Aaron, I talk to Kelvin every day. Me and Aaron go back. Like me and Aaron, like Aaron is like my original best friend. So if y'all talk to Lawrence, please know that y'all talk to a great man, bro. Like,
absolutely.
Lawrence is a good
man.
Yeah, man. Just me giving y'all flowers. It's not a lot of instances where Black men can show up and be themselves and offer other resources to Black men. My daughter going crazy back. Offer resources and life experiences from other Black men that are going through life at the same speed and time as other Black men. So shout out to y'all for taking the time out to be able to highlight other Black men and other stories, to be able to push narratives forward that are positive and not bullshit. So shout out to y'all. Lou, just met you. Good nigga, good person, good man. Shout out to you.
Absolutely. Thank you, my brother.
Kyron, brother, love you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Always,
for real. You know what I'm saying?
Real,
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. We'll keep everybody posted, and like I said, we'll definitely have you back on. With that being said, this is another chapter, man. Kelvin, appreciate you, man. You were officially a co-author. You were a bookworm in this, as we call this, another week in the books, man. You wrote your own chapter in this here book, in this story, one that's going to be very memorable. Reach out to us, awitb2022@gmail.com. Add another week in the books on Instagram. Also, Lou getting a new number. He gonna get the new number, but right now, 470-318-5034, man. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. We'll catch y'all next time.
Hold on. One question for Lou going on the outs. Like when I drive through Nashville to Cincinnati, I always stop at Prince's. Should I continue to do that? And if I continue to do that, which one should I stop at?
You know, ball. You already in the right ball game, buddy. Like,
that's what they told me to go when I went.
Rich had it. Me and Rich linked up in Nashville not too long ago. I told him, before you leave, you gotta have you some Princes. That's the OG.
Facts.
All the other stuff is cool. It's cool, but make sure you hit Princes up.
Which one is the one he should go? I think I went to the one that y'all told me to go to.
You got to go to the one in Antioch, I believe. That's the one that's gonna smack every time. Yeah, that's because the OG one. The OG one was on Ewan Lane where it originally got started at. You would go in there, I'm like, so it was like an out to the club spot or whatever it may be. You'll go in there and be waiting an hour for your chicken. Like, and they frying them in cast iron skillets. Ain't no fryers. OG back in the back cooking them in cast iron skillets, but Prince's is definitely the spot. Next time you go through there, stop at Sweats too. They're my people.
Sweats is crazy. Yeah, cafeteria style soul food.
That's what I was talking about. That's David.
So Dave, who comes on us every week, that's his dad.
That's his dad's restaurant. Yeah. My mom's married to David, his dad, Sweat.
All right. So closing this out, I used to do beat battles back in the day, and we used to stay for the weekend. We used to go to Sweats. Yeah. Boy, Sweats got everything. Appetizers, soul food, and the chest. Look, I'm gonna hit. I tell you about this. The chest pie. I'm hit, bro. Yeah,
you know, ball.
See? That's love, man. That's love, man. Because it's funny, just in a small, just as like I know we wrapping this up, but on a much, much, much smaller scale, me and Lou have been knowing each other, recording each other for about 2+ years before we finally linked up. So we did that
just met,
a few months ago. So that's when I went to Sweats and all that kind of stuff and all of that. So man, it's just
Rich was sleep on Nashville.
He was sleep on our. I ain't know.
I am not sleep on Nashville.
I was not familiar with Nashville's game.
You want good whiskey. You want good food, like good soul food, and you just want to chill vibe. Like, so now Nashville like scaling like Atlanta. But if you want to just chill and duck off, Nashville your spot.
Nah, listen, I fell in love. I fell in love with Nashville. So it won't be. It was my first time, but it won't be my last. But similar to this, your first time on here won't be your last, Kelvin. We appreciate you. Bookworms, we'll catch y'all next week. Y'all be cool. We out.
Peace.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, brother.